Alexander Titov. He's a Russian affairs analyst and lecturer at Queen's University, Belfast. Thanks for being with us, Alexander. So can you break down for us, what does Moscow mean when it says a peace settlement that suits us? What are the requirements there?
Well, last year, prior to the big conference in Switzerland organized by Ukraine, where everybody was invited apart from Russia, President Putin laid out his own diplomatic solution to the conflict, which was formal recognition of the Russian gains in the war, which is the 4 territories in southeast Ukraine, plus Crimea, and Ukraine's neutrality and language rights for Russian speakers in Ukraine, plus ban on far-right nationalist parties, Ukrainian nationalist parties, and limits on Ukraine military. So that's basically the Russian baseline. He said that if this is implemented, there'll be no more reasons to continue this war or start a new one. So this is Russia's kind of negotiating position. What they want is not just a ceasefire, not just a temporary reprieve, but a recognition of the new realities of the war, or realities on the ground, and those are formal recognition. So it's not just a temporary thing, but a permanent stop to this conflict, which is, for Russian point of view, is not impossible without settling these issues listed above.
With that in mind, Alexander, where does Moscow stand on this potential minerals deal between the US and Ukraine?
Well, I think basically there's no minerals to really to deal with, because Ukraine gas and oil was not even before the war, in best of circumstances, environment was not enough to even cover Ukraine's domestic needs. So it was exporting oil and gas mostly from Russia, well, certainly until 1914. And all this talk about rare earth and other things, it's completely hypothetical deposits which never been developed, never been proven, commercially proven. So this is really just a symbolic thing. I think the Russians see it very much the same way. It's kind of power play between the United States and America and Ukraine, and it really is just a sideshow without any kind of substance to it, really.
And where do you think then that this is going to lead? Because there's been a lot of talk about this potential peace deal between US and Ukraine and talking about the minerals. So do you think it's just a sideshow and the US and Russia are then going to engage in talks and that is going to lead somewhere to end the war?
Well, you know, initially the whole idea of this unconditional support for Ukraine also implied unconditional or certainly unlimited or substantial support for Ukraine in financial and military terms. Trump says there's no unconditional support anymore, and the money we already spent have to be backed up somehow or accounted for somehow. So this idea of this minerals deal, which, you know, it's really overhyped. Initially by Zelensky himself, he started talking about rare earth materials and so forth, and then the Americans slipped up on it. But yes, so this will be just kind of between Ukraine and just reflecting kind of shifting dynamics and attitudes of Ukraine from the United States, that it's, you know, a source of support, or rather the aim of support it. Now it's just another kind of client to get money back. For Russia, it suits it well, because, you know, if you move away from kind of this value dominated agenda about aggressor and sovereignty and so forth, and to, you know, discussion of power politics, money and so forth, it becomes much kind of easier for Russia to deal in that plane of raw power interests and financial calculations, rather than in kind of in terms of morality, where Russia has always been kind of obviously not able to claim high ground. So it suits Russia well, the whole approach of American administration.
Alexander Titov, Russian affairs analyst and lecturer at Queen's University, Belfast. Thank you so much for your time here on TRT World.